What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Surfing the Stream. This week, I went and checked out Black Bag. I walked into this having watched about 30 seconds of the trailer. It seemed like a movie that I could fuck with, so I decided to go in blind. Black Bag was completely different than what I thought it was going to be, for better or worse. If you haven't seen the trailer and you're wondering what the hell Black Bag is even about, basically it stars Cate Blanchett, where she plays this spy named Kathryn. Michael Fassbender plays her husband, George, and George is given like a week by one of his superior officers to investigate a leak of a top secret software program that they call Severus. And one of the 5 suspects that he was given, Kathryn, his wife, is one of them. So George is on a mission to figure out if his wife is actually betraying her country or not. So I expected like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith spy thriller here, and to a certain degree, that is kind of woven through the movie. But point blank, guys, this movie is sexy and 100% has the sauce. Cate Blanchett and Michael Fassbender completely steal the show here as this married spy couple, and they have this palpable sexual chemistry there that is, it's definitely something that you don't see in a lot of movies. So the fact that this movie has like all kinds of sex appeal, and I thought they did a great job throughout the entire movie of bringing that sauce. And then that's kind of where the comparisons end for Black Bag. This is very much a dialogue-heavy, character-driven thriller that legitimately wastes no time getting right into the story, because the movie starts, he is being handed the list, and you're like, holy shit. Like it's kind of jarring just how quickly you are thrown into that story. But the movie is 93 minutes long. They don't waste any time. And I think that works in its favor, as it never outstays its welcome. So I saw Black Bag a little over 24 hours ago, and I'm still thinking about this movie. And the more I do, the more I find myself like really enjoying this movie and thinking about how good it was. The relationships between all these characters, plus their performances from the actors playing those parts, really helps carry this movie. And I don't know of a single actor in here that really just doesn't do a good job. It's a little difficult to understand some of them with their British accents, so subtitles are going to be the winner when I get this on Blu-ray and digital. Sure, the plot is fine, it's nothing to write home about, but it's really the interactions between those characters that I really loved. At times, it feels kind of like a roast battle where they're just kind of going back and forth, making jabs at each other. All these characters are kind of like intertwined in this cat and mouse game that is so intriguing for the entire runtime. Now, I keep thinking about 2 scenes specifically, and no spoilers or context is going to be provided here. I'm just going to name the scenes. There's a dinner scene and there's a polygraph sequence. Both of those are overflowing with tension that like most action thrillers really struggle to achieve. Steven Soderbergh is the director for the movie, and he directs the hell out of this thing. The framing of every shot really adds another layer. It gives it a lot of depth. There's so much to look at on this screen that I found myself distracted a lot of times for different reasons that we'll get into in just a second. And how about that opening like tracking shot through the nightclub? Guys, I am a slut for that kind of shit in movies, and need I say more, okay? Because that shot, that whole sequence was just absolutely fantastic. Now, with that being said, there is a lighting issue here, and some people really love it. Every light has this like glowing radioactive look to it, and it gives this almost foggy-like look to all of the scenes, and it's just very distracting at times for me, because I was just staring at the lights like a damn moth to a flame, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I need to pay attention to what's actually going on here. So to me, I didn't find it all that great. Not a huge fan of it. But I will say this, it does give it a little bit of a different aesthetic that we're not used to in movies. So I kind of appreciate the swing for the fences there to make it look different. Who knows, guys? Like maybe when I watch it in my room with the lights off, I'm going to feel completely different about it. But in the theater, wasn't all that great. It borrows that 60s, 70s flair, almost kind of gives me the vibes of like Ocean's 11, and it uses it very effectively. Like I just mentioned, I found myself having moments where I got sidetracked by the sets or the costumes. It was just so much going on screen that I easily got distracted in the best way possible. And then let's not forget about the score here. The score is absolutely fantastic. And again, it feels like it was stripped straight from an Ocean's movie. And I just mentioned this just a couple of seconds ago, but I just want to mention that the theater experience that I had was probably not the best. Like, it wasn't completely dark in there. The movie wasn't all that loud. So I did have some experience issues in the theater. So I'm really excited for this movie to come out on Blu-ray or even digital, where I can enjoy this in the comfort of my home, make it as dark as a motherfucker in my room and watch this with subtitles. And I feel like I'm going to love this movie even more at that. Black Bag is not the spy thriller that I was expecting, but I did really enjoy just how different it was in comparison to a typical blockbuster. It's worth a watch if you like those dialogue heavy, character driven movies, and it comes with all of the sauce. And what can you ask for other than that? I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. But again, I think once I watch this at home, I think the score is going to go up. This was the first movie that I watched that was released in 2025. So I'm a couple of months behind on my 2025 releases. So expect reviews on some of these newer releases over the next several weeks as I try to catch up on 2025. Will this ultimately end up in my top 10? I'm going to have to watch it again. If I had to guess, I don't think so. But this is going to be a movie that at the end of the year, I'm going to sit there and tell you, hey, go check this movie out. This is going to be one of the more underrated gems of 2025. I am not mad at all that I went to the theater and saw this, despite the fact that maybe my experience at the theater was not all that great. But guys, if you have seen Black Bag, let me know down in the comments below of what you thought about it. And I will catch y'all next time on another episode. Laters.